This will be a day long remembered. Now I am the master.
Welcome to another episode of Legends and Theories, and welcome to my review of LEGO Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga's campaign. It will also probably have a review of all the side missions and everything once I 100% the game. All that is going to take a little bit of time since it took me about an hour and a half to about 50% Coruscant, and that's one of, I believe, 28 planets. So yeah, it's going to take a little bit of time to do this. So I'll probably have that full video out maybe in a month. Not really sure though. We'll see when I could get it out. Also, I've been doing it on two PS4s with my PS Plus account. Just expired and I need a little bit of time to get into the payment back up. So I'm not sure if I'll be able to transfer it. So yeah, we'll just see about that. But I'll also be finishing LEGO Dimensions, at least the main campaign, before when I have the chance, since I do it at two PS4s. We're doing it on the other PS4. But we'll just see about that. And just let's start the review of this. I don't really think I need a spoiler warning since these are all the Star Wars movies. And they've all been on DVD since at the latest, early 2020, when Rise of Skywalker dropped on Blu-ray and DVD, and the rest of them have been on Blu-ray, DVD, and everything else for a lot longer. So if you don't know what happens in these movies, well then I don't know why you're watching this, because I'm going over the plot, how I think they went and interpreted them, and how fun it was. I'm also planning a video for maybe next week, maybe the week after, depending on really if I get chances to record. Although I do have a bunch of free time right now, being on spring break, it does not equal time to record since I have other people who are also on spring break. But yeah, I'm going to be ranking all of the levels, at least compared to the ones that have been done in other LEGO games like the Complete Saga, LEGO Star Wars 3, or LEGO Star Wars The Force Awakens. So when we look at that, and I'm going to be doing that either next week or the week after. We'll see. So let's just get into this review after about 3.5 minutes of intro. And starting with the prequels, yeah, I think they did a really good job. And I love this game so much more than the Complete Saga and what they're able to do, because with one thing, they have a lot more of the cutscenes. And since they do have dialogue, they're able to put in a lot more. Since stuff like the Complete Saga are sort of just completely cut out. Things like the battle on Mace Windu, no, not Mace Windu and Palpatine and Palpatine's office. And has other things cut out. Mainly from Revenge of the Sith, I think, suffers the most from losing stuff since so much happens in that movie. And going here, we have a lot less into, there's less in the Complete Saga, but here we have a lot more to cover, and they cover it a lot better. And looking at them, I think they have an interesting selection of levels. They are pretty short, but they're fun. And I was able to beat each episode in about the period of an hour and a half to 2 hours. I did a little better with the Phantom Menace since I did get a chance to play it before. I made a video on that, I believe, last week, so I've already explained that, but yeah, I had so much fun. I was able to play through episodes 1 and 2 opening day, and I tried to get Revenge of the Sith done, but I did not get the chance to play it. Yeah, but I still had so much fun playing. I was so glad I was in the first day and a half able to beat a third of the campaign, and then I was able to get so much more done. I had so much fun while playing, and while I played, I was able to get definitely a lot of stuff done, and just looking at the story of the prequel trilogy, again, I think they did such a great job adapting it. And looking at some of the levels, we have some interesting choices. Some of them were definitely great. We have some amazing ones in all of them. Although it is an odd choice to have the encounter with the giant fish be the first level, when there's a lot more other levels that could have been a lot better choices, like negotiations or rescuing Queen Amidala or something. This could have just been a fun part of the open world. Like some other stuff, there is the Boonta Eve Classic, which is definitely better than the pod race in the complete saga. You'll see way more of my reasoning in this in my next video, which will be about that topic as I mentioned. Of course, this is better than Pod Race Classic because Pod Race Classic sucks. This is an amazing level. Better Call Maul is a great boss fight with Darth Maul. Although it does take a little early, being level 3, and we still have 2 more levels, which are still fun. Even though this is the epic fight of the movie, we do have the Gungan Fight for the first time in a Lego game, and this is really fun to do. You get to play as the Gungans and fight off against Droid Army, and you get a great, unique level where you get to shoot out armies of droids. I'm surprised they didn't have another similar setup to this, but yeah, that was really fun. And then, now this is Pod Racing, is another great level where you get to go and take on the Trade Federation ship, although it is pretty similar to the encounters you could do inside of the open world, where the Trade Federation ship shows up. And moving on to Attack of the Clones, we get another great series of levels with great parts built in between. The first level, Wrestle with Wessel, is really fun to do with the Coruscant airspeeders and to go through the beautiful looking city of Coruscant. And with being the first time in a video game, and really outside of the Clone Wars and the prequel movies, that we fully get to truly look around Coruscant since 1313 was cancelled. There's also so many other fun levels we get. The Hunt for Django, and it's a fun level, although it does get a little annoying because if you try and look for Django, it sometimes gets kind of hard to find him because the map is just so big. It was a little hard to track him, but that's really my only complaint with the level. It's a fun level besides that. Once you're able to get on Django's trail, he does get away a few times, but once you find him that first time, that's a lot easier to find him the other times. Droid Factory Frenzy. It's a good level. I can't really explain really much about it without going into how I compare it to the other level, one from the complete saga. But to say, I think it's a good level. Just I think didn't live up to the complete saga's version of that level. I'll go far more into depth with that video I've been teasing. Looking at Petrinaki Panic, this is the third time you had this level in a Lego game, and as the other two times, this has been such a great level. Definitely have fun fighting the monsters, and you get to some great stuff. You get the fight with Django again, and have so much fun. And finally, fighting Count Dooku in the Battle of the Jedi is really unique, and I'm pretty sure you have two different ways you can go after Dooku. One is the very direct one, the other one is going the long way, which I think I did. Still, that is a lot of fun. And with this one, I kind of wish you had a in-game part for Gunship Cavalry, where you could have just done it on the open world, or just at least pursue Dooku in the gunship. That would have been fun. But I get they just wanted to put it in a cutscene, so you could have a sort of different way to do it, but it could have been fun for them to do it like that. And then going to Revenge of the Sith, I really wish we could have played at least part of the Battle of Coruscant, even if it was just that above the planet, and you just had to go and maybe fight through some fighters and land on the invisible hand, and that triggers the level. I think that would have been so much fun to do, but instead it just triggers into it and it's just a cutscene. I would have loved to do that, but sadly they didn't. Looking at the next level, so uncivilized, and that makes sense since probably between the Battle of Coruscant and then this point in the movie, there isn't really much action. There's a good amount of build up to it. You get the some different things. The only thing I kind of wish we got was the goodbye between Anakin and Obi-Wan. And yeah, some things are a little rushed, and the Darth Plagueis thing is only actually seen in dialogue when you spawn in Palpatine, and it's only the prequel version of Palpatine. So that's pretty good. And this is a fun level where you get to fight General Grievous, the droid attacking the Wookiees. Just droid attacking Wookiees, but putting the droid attacking Wookiees just makes it sound a lot more natural. Is another fun level. I'll explain this way more in my as I say, next video because some of these levels are just really hard to look at without giving my thoughts on what the complete saga is because I think this is a good level but doesn't really hold up. So I am going to be talking about that a little more in that video. So moving to our next one is the Senate Showdown. And honestly, I love this level and the next one, but I kind of wish it was done in the split screen where you could be at two different places at once. For level 4 and 5 to be confined into one, and level 4 was actually either Mace Windu versus Palpatine or something like Ruin of the Jedi or something similar to that. And honestly, I think that could have been a lot of fun. And could have either added an extra lightsaber fight into this episode where you fought Palpatine, or we could have seen something else. But still, I think that I really enjoy it. It's just I think this could have been such a way more fun way, and this was kind of how I wished that they did it, even going in. So I was a little biased, and although I was disappointed that this is how it was done, I still really like this level and the next one. I just wish they did it like that so you could have kept it accurate and had one player fighting Palpatine and the other one fighting Anakin if you were playing two-player. But if you were playing single player, you could have fought both of them. And then, yeah, I don't even know if that would anger some people, but I think it would have been just really cool to have the fight like that so you could have it accurate without having other people there. And yeah, the prequel trilogy. that they finished off was so much fun. As I said, it was such a great interpretation, and let's move on now to the original trilogy. And the original trilogy, again, was done so well. Make great interpretations of episodes 4, 5, and 6. And since they're on less of a grand scale that the prequels have, this has a lot more put into it, since with the complete saga, I feel like they were perfectly able to cover the events that the originals had. With the prequels, they had to cut out some stuff, since the prequels were much more grand in scale and had a lot more going on. But with the original trilogy, I think with the exception of one thing in Return of the Jedi, it was all done extremely well. And we'll see next week, some of the levels from Saga do rank over these. So I think that overall they did really well. And starting off with Boarding Party, this is a great level to start off. It's very reminiscent of Secret Plans, but it's also its own unique thing. It's a lot of fun, and you get so many unique and different ways to play, and I had so much fun playing through it. It was such a fun and unique level, and a great way to start off this trilogy. Moving on to the next level, Hunk of Junk. Honestly, this was kind of a boring level. It felt very reminiscent of the one from The Force Awakens, where you just had to get the Millennium Falcon ready to attack Starkiller Base. And this one's just repairing the Millennium Falcon, and I feel like this one felt like such a wasted level. And I honestly don't know what they could have done as a level, since they already have the other major moments being well put into the movies with the boarding party level previously. The Death Star stuff split into 3 levels, was in the complete saga, and I don't really know. They could have done something similar to either through the Jundland Waste or Mos Eisley's spaceport. It could have been interesting, but yeah, I honestly don't know what they really would have done. Yeah, I think this is just one of the disappointing levels, because it just feels like they had to get 5 for each one, and they didn't really know what to do for A New Hope. But besides that level and this one, the rest of these are amazing. Best Laid Plans is a really interesting one, where you really don't have to do any fighting until basically the end. And you could just sneak through Death Star with Chewbacca as your prisoner and go through, and that's pretty simple. Then you also get a Kyber card. You get one of the rewards completed for that. But also, it's a lot of fun. You could do a lot of things. You get to unlock some villain classes. I think this is the first time you get one of them, at least as part of the campaign. And yeah, you get the Han and what's his name? Luke in the Stormtrooper suits, and yeah, that was a pretty fun level. And this is some rescue. It's another fun one where you are doing the escape from the Death Star. I do wish you could have played through the Obi-Wan versus Vader fight, but since it's a very straightforward and normal fight, I guess you could forgive it for that. Yeah, going on to the final level, Stay on Target. It's a good level. It's a little short, but it's still fun. Yeah, and I really like how they did New Hope, and let's move on to everyone's favorite movie, The Empire Strikes Back. And The Empire Strikes Back definitely starts off with another one of those odd levels, which is Hot and Cold. And that one is just kind of trying to look for Luke and triangulate his position. and I actually played the first level twice. Well, sort of twice. I played like a first 2/3 of it, but then I had to exit out, so I just decided to restart from the beginning. And when I restarted from the beginning, I went and just fully played through that level. It's a okay level. It's sort of like the one where you're rebuilding the Millennium Falcon in episode 4. And I think that they could have moved a few levels around. They each need to have 5 episodes and have 5 levels. I feel like one of these could have been placed on Return of the Jedi, and another one could have been placed on Revenge of the Sith. It could have been one of those levels I mentioned earlier, or they could have combined those levels, but yeah, looking at it, Hot and Cold is still a good level. Did feel, maybe a little unnecessary, but yeah, having so far 2 kind of felt unnecessary levels, or 3 if you count the Gungan one, although that one, I think you could have justified a little more than this since they didn't at least adapt those scenes. I think that, and they didn't really skip over anything, but this one, I just feel like it was just kind of stretching things out of events that didn't happen, while the one in episode 1 did happen, and these happened to a lesser extent. In movies level 2, we have Assault on Echo Base, and this is a really fun one. It's definitely unique, and you get the fun of taking down AT-ATs. That's always fun to do. Moving on to level 3, Never Tell Me the Odds. That's another fun level. You get a really unique time there, and flying the Falcon is fun. You get to go through the asteroid field and everything, which is a really unique one. And I actually like how they switched these 2 levels, which are the last 2, from the way they were done in the Complete Saga. Because we first have Hibernation Situation, which is the level where everyone escapes from Cloud City, and then Revelations is the last level. And it's so much better because it's great to end on the lightsaber duel. And I've definitely felt a lot better. And looking at it, there's a lot of fun things. We get to, well, have a lot of fun with the first level as we escape from Cloud City. We also get to fight Slave 1 and escape, and then fighting Darth Vader in Revelations was really fun and really felt like it was just such a great time, and I had a great time doing it. Moving on to episode 6, we have just another great episode. Although I think there is a level that could have been put in at the end, or at least something in the open world, which I will explain in a moment. And before that, I'm going to take a look at the rest of the levels in this episode, since this all takes before it. And as in the Complete Saga, we have 2 levels dedicated to Jabba's storyline, which is a plot to save Han, or Han if you want to say, so you can make it rhyme. And the Copa Kirana, I'm not really sure how you're supposed to pronounce it. I think it's supposed to be some kind of pun. Yeah, these are fun levels. Definitely get some unique stuff. Although I'll explain the second level a little more about Rigid Boot Saga, but I think it's a little sad that you're just only on Jabba's sail barge and you could have started off on one of the desert skiffs, which would have been fun. And then looking at level 3, Endor the Line. Oh boy, that was an annoying level because of just how long it was. You had to take out so many speeder bikes, it felt like. And I felt like I was just playing that level for such a long time. And I never liked these speeder bike levels in either Lego game. We'll explain that in a lot more next week, but ooh, this was a frustrating level. And then looking at our South Park reference, we have the Chewbacca Defense, and that was a really fun level, and they did such a great job with it. I think that it could have been a little more. Like, I wish we got to, blow up the bunker, but still, it was a really fun level. And then finally, fulfill your destiny. This was an amazing level. I have no idea how this level works when you play double player, since it seemed like you're only playing as Luke and you didn't have a second person. I tried to swap characters and it didn't let me. So I don't know if it just skips for the Vader boss fight, but still I think it was really interesting, and I really loved fighting Vader in this, since all these like games only have you fighting Palpatine. I also like how you fight Palpatine is him just using his Force lightning, since I believe it was his words. I don't remember exactly if it was his words or if it was just something that was written about him, that he's moved past using a lightsaber. And I really liked that. And moving on to the part I said I wish was put in, I wish that they had a way where you wanted to destroy the Death Star, because it's just on a cutscene. That kind of angered me because I just really wished that it was either made a level or they just had it as part of the open world where you flew into the second Death Star and you were able to fly through the different paths and shoot at it and blow it up. And considering that Force Awakens had a part where you just went into, after the last level, you went to Act 2 and just met Luke. I think that's the only one that ends in a non-level, since, yeah, so far the ones I've went through have all ended in a level, and Force Awakens is the only one that doesn't end in a level and will end the game on a level. Although I'll go to that in a minute. I just really wish that they did it here and you were able to fly through the interior of the Death Star, fire at the reactor core, and then potentially either escape, or that could have just been a cutscene. I think that would have been so fun, even if it was just a mainly straight path you flew down. And so I think that the original trilogy was done really well. Like I said, a few of the levels a little annoying because I feel like they were just kind of put time in to the episodes since they didn't have enough, and then we get a pretty major part of Return of the Jedi just put into a cutscene. But so I really like this era and think they did a really good job. And it's time to move on to the sequels. And to be fully honest, I'm not a huge fan of the sequels, but I still think they did a really good job with the sequels in this, because they cut out so much of the stuff that I really, don't like. There was still a few things, like there's a few scenes from The Last Jedi that they still kept in and still kind of, didn't like them. Besides that, I think that they really took away a lot of the stuff that was bad because of the humor they had. Like, I'll talk about it when I go to each episode, but with Force Awakens, first off, this is so much better than the full-on Force Awakens game, since they're not trying to draw that storyline out. So that's so much of a benefit. And honestly, I haven't played the Force Awakens game, I think, in full since I first got it in, I think, 2016. So I'm gonna have to be taking a look at just some gameplay footage of some of the levels for that video I'm making next week, because yeah, that's probably one of my least favorite Lego games. My least favorite is actually Lego Marvel Superheroes for mobile/Nintendo DS, since that's a completely not a Lego game, and I'm gonna make a completely separate video on that. But of just the normal ones, this is one of my least favorite ones. But let's just say that for a different video. And looking at this game, it is in the sequels. I think that Force Awakens was done, as I said, a lot better than the game was. Let's take a look at the levels now. And going into its first level, we have First Order of Business, where you escape the Finalizer. That was a fun level, but I don't know, there was some weird glitch where I got into a fight even though I didn't want to. I just wanted to kind of, do it like that one in episode 4. But for some reason I got into a fight and I think I lost one of the challenges because of that. And one of the things was instead of hitting object, Finn went and tracked towards the stormtroopers, which might have also triggered that, which was really annoying. But they didn't attack me straight away. It was really weird. So I'm not sure if it was that. So that's a fun level. The next one, low flying garbage. You get a fun one inside of Han Solo's ship. No, listen, you're not. This is the wrong one. I'm thinking of the next level. This is one where you're flying the Millennium Falcon. You get to just shoot down other TIE fighters and stuff. Yeah, it's a really fun level. It's not as fun as the next one. The next one is the level I was talking about. This is a really fun one where it's called We Put You Solo, and this is the one where you take place on ship with the Rathtars. This is a scene I really love from the movies. I think it was a great one because you're both Han and Chewie. They're just trying to, weasel their way out. Well, I don't know the circumstances that get there because I really don't like that Han was kind of reverted back to who he was. Still, this is for a different video. This is the level. It's pretty fun. I think the scene itself is great, although the context that leads to it isn't great. And from there is actually really no levels until the end, where we get Starkiller and Queen. And this skips over a lot of the movie, which are stories in the main hub, and well, main hub, not the hub, it's the open world, since hub is what was kind of the canteen and stuff were. These are open worlds. I'm not sure if you can still call it hub, but yeah, you get to Starkiller Queen, where you get a pretty fun, like, stealth boss fight against Captain Phasma. And that was really fun. And then destroying Starkiller is something that maybe even fulfill your destiny. Episode 5 could have been where it's both the final lightsaber fight, but it's also it's a lightsaber fight and the Starfighter fight. Yeah, I just really wanted that Starfighter fight in Return of the Jedi, as you can clearly see. And moving on to The Last Jedi. And to be honest, I never loved The Last Jedi film, but I feel like this fixed up a lot of the problems besides Luke, and it's really because Luke was such a major part of it, and just him making these decisions is still pretty hard to watch, especially throwing the lightsaber away. Although with it looking like every other lightsaber in the game, it makes it just a little more bearable. And with it being more comedic in tone, it also helps. But so that is a part that I love, and the Holdo thing is gonna be a lot better since she has like 2 scenes in this. One where she basically says, "I'm not gonna tell you the plan to Poe," and then the next where she is sacrificing herself. So that makes things just so much better, and And then the entire Canto Bight side plot is reduced to one level, and yeah, that makes things so much better because yeah, just cuts out so much of the film I didn't like. And I think it's also satisfying for people who did like the films. It does have enough from there and is in line with the other episodes, but looking at so they do, we have Dameron's Defiance. I think that was a fun level to play. And they also handled the your mom joke a lot better here. And it also felt more in place since, well, this is a Lego game, and making dumb jokes like that is what belongs here. So yeah, that felt a lot better. And then the next level, most Master Code Breakout, and it's a fine level. It's a breakout from prison. Nothing to compare this to. So episodes 8 and 9 are a lot easier because I don't have anything to compare them to. But yeah, this is um, it's an okay level where you're breaking out of prison basically. That's all I really have to say. The third level, No Snow Without Fire. It's actually a really fun fight where you get to fight the Praetorian guards. I had a really great time with it, and I think they did a really good job. And then moving on to the next level, Chrome Down. This is it's a decent fight with Captain Phasma. It makes things a lot better and her going down not seem as pathetic, as it's more drawn out and looks a lot better. It also helps in the last episode with her at least being defeated and not just being ambushed. And then finally, Ground Assault, and then it's A dash assault. So it's another pun, which they really like doing here. The Luke and Kylo thing is just a bunch of quick time events. I mean, I think there was a few times that I accidentally forgot I either was switching over to him at the wrong moment, and for a second I forgot which controller I was using because when I do it through Steam, I have to remember X is square, and then I need to remind myself again when I'm playing PlayStation that X is just X on there. So I sometimes mess up with that. I did hit the wrong one. Yeah, the only thing is I did hit the button, but it didn't register. So I was like, oh, it must have been. I was like, oh, wait, I supposed to do it the other way. So I hit that button, and I'm like, wait a second, I was right, and that didn't register, but it was too late at that point. So that was really weird, but the rest of the level is okay. It's an okay level overall since it's mainly quick time events and then just no real fighting. You're just kind of clearing a path. And with it, I kind of wish they did have the full-on fight because it's a pretty anticlimactic ending. And with how long they made the ending to the next level, you definitely know that they don't have major problems with endings. And moving on to Rise of Skywalker, with their first level, a skip and a jump. This level is okay, it's pretty fast if you play it well, without knowing, but this level is really good for farming studs, and notice how it's one of the best, and not the best way to do it. And I tried it out one time where I got the rest of the stuff on it. This is the only one I've got 5 mini kits on so far as of the time of recording. That's because, I just went back into farm studs and I only had 1 mini kit left. Yeah, this level it's an okay one. It's good to farm studs, but that's really it because all I have to do is shoot down 10 TIE fighters and do a few quick time events. And then moving on to They Fly Now, which is a line I always hated since flying stormtroopers and clone troopers have existed for a while, and the other dumb thing is the First Order Jet Trooper was introduced in the Poe Dameron comic books. So, yeah, that's pretty bad on that also. But still, looking at it, it's an okay level. I think it was really short, and yeah, it was okay. C3PO no was it's a good kind of like stealth-based level where you're trying to sneak through a town, not really get spotted, and that actually made it pretty fun because you're trying to sneak away past the walkers and you don't want to get caught. I actually had a lot of fun doing that because it was just fun to do this stealth thing. Now, looking at the next episode, level 4 strength to do it, you have, or should I say, the strength to do it. You basically have Rey and Kylo fight. Yeah, it's a good level. The fight does feel a little drawn out to be the final lightsaber fight of the series, and yeah, I think that it's a it's a good level. The final level, Be With Me, it is a really long level. You fight the Praetorian, not the Praetorian Guards, you fight the Sith Elite Guards or whatever their names is. I can't think of their names right now. You fight the Knights of Ren with both of them, and then you go and take out the Star Destroyer, and finally you go and take out Palpatine, where you get an entire conversation about how Anakin doesn't like sand, and Yoda agrees with him. Mace Windu says it's not the time for this, which is really funny. And then we also get another great line where Palpatine's like, "Anakin, help me." The Jedi take you. Oh wait, you're not here this time. I honestly really laughed at that part because it was such a funny moment. But also pointed out something that we all wish that Anakin was there. And yeah, honestly, I think that it was a funny ending, and the level is good, although I think it was a little long. And oh boy, this video is 43 minutes long now. I did not expect it to be this long. I was expecting a 20-minute video. And with breaks and everything I've been taking because of people interrupting, this has been like an hour long for me to record. It's like 11:20 nearly at night, and I need to take a shower and everything. I was gonna stream something last night, but I recorded this. And while this video is a lot longer, but I could just show my love for this, and I thought that I was gonna do like half the time of this, but boy, how wrong I was. But yeah, just look at this game as a whole. It's a truly amazing game. I definitely recommend it, and although I want to beat all the little side missions and stuff first, this may be my new favorite Lego game. And because I just really loved what they did with this. They did such a great job with this. It was so fun to do. I had so much fun with it. And I think they did such an amazing job. I really have to give it to TT Games. They did such a great job balancing the story with humor and so many other things. Although there are some flaws, I feel like they could still be greatly be overlooked because you could just tell how much love and dedication was put into this game. And I think all these delays were definitely worth it because we got the best game we could possibly get. I have no idea what this launch would have been like if it came out in 2020, since it would have been similar to the Battlefront 2 launch. Because if they just waited a few years for the Battlefront 2, they could have had an amazing game put out that could have still been getting content to this day because of, well, how popular it is. And even if they gave it up in the same amount of time, they'd be giving up maybe around now instead of a few years ago, since That's all I needed to put into that game. But stuff with this game was so worth the wait. I had so much fun when I played it. And that's why I just keep playing it on streams for short amounts of time. I also got really lucky with the time I had because, as you can see with the Galaxy free play ones, I have not been having a lot of time to stream recently. But when I was able to play through the first 9 episodes, well, the 9 episodes, I had enough time to play through them and maybe go through the open world a little bit. And with the so far I've done with the open world, I had so much fun. The Kyber are fun. The side quests are pretty good. I haven't done too many side quests, other than the ones I've done were fun, and taking these capital ships down are definitely enjoyable. The stud multipliers are a must. Once I got up to score times nearly 48, I started to buy stuff that was that I didn't necessarily need to get immediately. I could have saved up to score times 8, but I went and bought all of the capital ships and some of the characters I wanted. But now that I have all the stud multipliers besides score times 10, I am just able to basically buy whatever I want right now. I am making so much money and I'm having so much fun just in the open world and looking around. So far, my favorite world has been Coruscant. I think that it's so amazing to see this planet, and that's why I started out there. And the ones I think that are just the best to look at are the prequel planets because of how bigger and more grand in scale they are versus the more dirty and lived in ones that are seen in the original and sequel trilogies. Oh, those are great too. I just love the looks of the massive city of Coruscant. It looks so awesome. And that's why I started out there first. It's such a great place. But this is all better saved for my next video, which will be a review of the open world and all the free play stuff, because we're nearly at 50 minutes now. So I so hope you enjoyed this. I had so much fun making it, and yeah, I'm kind of just need to take a shower now. Also, this is not going to be, this may not be coming out exactly when I want it to. It's going to go on Thursday, but I'm going to have to record about, well, I'm going to record about the Xbox Game Bar record about 50 minutes of footage because I'm not going to be going and downloading 3 massive videos onto my computer. Instead, I'm getting like 3 15-minute clips using Xbox Game Bar from each trilogy about. I need to figure out exactly how long they each need to be. But yeah, please let me know what you think about this game in the comments. And I'll see you all in the next episode of Legends and Theories. Thank you for watching this episode of Legends and Theories. Please subscribe, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, check out the video on screen, and may the Force be with you.